So we will continue this little interview to develop the songs which you've
Are
written.
you developing the songs?
No,
with me?
which you have
Oh, I
developed.
thought we were developing them
Yeah.
together.
Oh, okay, but you wrote them, so
Yeah, but you can develop them.
so it's been a long day, but it's been a good one, hasn't it?
Very good, very good.
So next song on the list was No.
We talked about that one, didn't we? On the, in the car?
Sure. I'll scrub that bit then.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
But then the film ran out.
Yeah. So it's Psalm.
And we talked about that one.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you quite sure?
100.
How many percent? 100% sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Psalm. Psalm was originally a poem by a writer called Andrew Darlington, who I used to know and work with a little bit in the late 70s and early 80s. And yeah, he's a writer. I think he works as a writer still, as more of a science fiction writer. But this poem was covered originally by a band called UV Pop. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Kind of new wave punk band from the kind of late 70s. And this song and this poem always stayed with me. Just basically because I think it echoes a very good overview on the politics of religion. And it's always been a poem I've carried around with me and had inside my head really, and I've enjoyed. And then with the escalation of all this religious fanaticism over the last few years, in every kind of area, from Islam to Christianity to Judaism to, yeah, extreme religion. I thought really it was a good time, or the right time, to use this poem and adapt it a little bit. So I've taken the liberty of adapting a certain percentage of the text and then bringing it more into a current kind of, yeah, I suppose, perspective. But it's really about, yeah, the destructive elements of religion, because I have to make a very big separation here for me, because religion has nothing to do with spirituality for me. They're two completely separate things, and you know, I wouldn't ever condemn a person's spirituality because it's something very internal and personal. But when you start using politics and God, or a God, to justify persecuting and, yeah, oppressing and killing and, yeah, attacking other people, it's just intolerable, I think. So it's a real denouncement of state-structured political religion.
Musically, it's it's filled with loads of electronics.
Yeah.
I think some years ago you decided to step away from that, and now you're coming back en force with electronics. What made you take that turn?
I think really discovering slowly again musicians who work with electronics that I find exciting and stimulating, and Zabek is one such artist really. And he had a musical idea, I had this text, and the two just kind of fitted together like a jigsaw really. So I mean, I'm interested in every kind of music under the sun, as long as it's stimulating and interesting and, you know, does something for me. So I've found my way back to electronic music, yeah, through various composers and musicians.
Well, the result can also be heard on Full Moon.
Oh yes, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I'm very aware of the importance of material like Sleeper in Metropolis and Our Darkness, and these what you could vaguely call commercial or very accessible pieces. And I think, as the whole album will show, it covers a real spectrum of genres of music really. And yeah, this one would be going in that kind of direction. I think the same kind of direction of Our Darkness, Sleeper in Metropolis. It's meant to be a very uplifting, stimulating, rhythmic piece of electronic music.
With a possible release as a single? Will there be
I
some?
mean, it seems a good choice, I think, for a single. So we have to see.
Okay. As Soon as I Get Home.
Ooh.
I think one of the strongest songs on the album.
Yes, yeah, I would say so. This might take a bit of time, so I hope your arm's are right there, the camera. Going back again to religion and things, as I've said, I'm very sceptical and wary of religion, but very interested in spirituality and different elements of that. And all my life, really, I've loved religious music, and that goes from Mozart's Requiem to Arvo Pärt, contemporary stuff, to gospel music. I've always, from when I was a child, been absolutely, blown away by gospel music. Not so much for its religious content, but its spiritual content and its message, I think, always of hope and the possible. I mean, I am, the world's biggest agnostic, I guess. I don't know anything. I don't know what there is, what there isn't, I just like to believe that there is something, but I can't prove it and nobody can disprove it. And gospel music, it's the music that comes from oppression, it's the music of hope. It comes from the slavery from Afro-American people, and there's always this message of strength and hope and one day of finding some kind of peace or something. And when I heard this song, I first heard it by the Waterboys, did a cover of it, I don't know, I think on Fisherman's Blues album.
Has Mickey got something to do with that?
He might well do, I'm not too sure, I'm really not too sure, but they did a version of it, and it's originally written by an American guy, Minister Thomas A. Whitfield, I think the gentleman's name is, who wrote it. And it's a very simple text, as in a lot of gospel music, which is repeated. And I discovered it a few years ago. And as I explained earlier with the song, about the song No, my mum died last year. And it was a very big period from her dying. It took a long time for her to die, and this song was sort of constantly, the message of it, the text of it was always kind of there in the back of my mind, really. And then as she was dying and as she died, this song really came to the fore, and it just gave me such enormous strength and peace in a way, really. And I felt, right now I'd really like to do something with it, because it's helped me so much. And I mean, the guys in the band absolutely flipped, when I said to them, right, we're going to do a gospel song. They were like, what the hell are you, what are you? And I said, no, we're going to do it. And they were very, very reluctant to do it for whatever reason. I mean, I always find it quite interesting that, because, just because you don't believe in a God, it doesn't mean you don't listen to Mozart's Requiem, or you don't listen to St. Matthew's Passion, or you don't listen to, I don't know, it's the spirituality of the music. And I eventually cornered them into a rehearsal room, and we worked and worked and worked on it, and it just came together. In a moment, really. It's strange how it happened, really. And it's a very big, very central part of the album. And we've been performing it live, which I was a bit worried about how it would be received, because it's something so very different, but it seems to work quite well with the public.
Okay. Next track is one which you have